But as soon as he's like, you got to put on this leather vest harness that is chained to the basement of this house. Nope. No way.
We are kicking off Damian McCarthy week with Caveat.
This is going to be a rough week.
This one's very different than the last couple of weeks. I think this one's going to shape up to be a little bit of a slow dread kind of horror week, I think. Especially kicking off with Caveat, which is what I feel like exactly what it is.
Yeah. We were supposed to do a double header tonight. We were going to watch this one and...
Oddity.
I can't. I told you we got to watch a comedy now.
Yeah, so this one's set on an isolated island and at this very rundown, creepy house where a friend is convinced to go stay in the house alone with a niece. But he's also convinced to be tied or chained to the house for some kind of off-the-wall reasons.
Yeah, no. First off, as soon as you got there and the guy's like, oh, we're getting in this boat because the house is surrounded by water and it's by itself on this tiny little island, I'd be like, no, let's just hop back in the car. Sorry, I'm not going to babysit your niece. Not going to happen. But he gets on the boat and he goes to the house. But as soon as he's like, you got to put on this leather vest harness that is chained to the basement of this house. And you can only go certain places and you're padlocked into it. Nope. No way. I was already freaked out. I mean, I was already scared just as soon as they put that man in that because I'm a little claustrophobic, or at least I don't want to be trapped.
So he has layers of claustrophobia in this movie. So you're on a very small island. You can only get there via boat. It's this very claustrophobic dark house. And then you're tied to that house in this tight leather vest. So yeah, you immediately... As soon as they get to the island and he gets tied up and the friend leaves, he kind of steps out and he sees this dog that's chained to the thing. And you immediately went, I'm not going to like this movie. That dog's chained up outside.
Yeah. And on a very, very short leash outside. Like, the poor thing can, like, maybe do one little circle. Like, no.
But there's this kind of cool supernatural element that's kind of going through the movie as well. There's this...
I love how you say cool. You mean terrifying. Spooky.
It's kind of captured by this like bunny. It's like this kind of toy, I guess. It's this creepy looking bunny.
It's like the monkey.
Yeah, and so anytime it looks like there's some kind of like supernatural something in the area or close by, it starts playing the drums.
As soon as you face the bunny in the direction, like, oh my God. Like, so if I faced the bunny towards Chucky right now and it would like play little drums, like, we're moving. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah. I know this is a very sweet little animal that's comforting me right now.
And yeah, it's got some twists and turns because a lot of the movie it's kind of unraveling this mystery of there's a mom that's missing, and a dad that like killed himself in the basement, and kind of unraveling why that happened, what happened to the mom and all that.
And the niece is like grown.
Yeah.
You know, she's a young adult, like gotta be in her 20s, I would think. But she goes into these catatonic states, which is why he's chained, because the niece doesn't trust anybody to stay there if they're not chained up, because that chain won't allow them into her room. So she feels safe that nobody can come into her room while he's there, but she can roam around free.
With a crossbow.
Oh.
Yeah. So there's just different layers of kind of like spookiness here too.
Noises and...
Another thing that kind of like adds tension is there's foxes on the island, and they explain that them crying at night sounds like, he said, like a teenage girl screaming. Yeah. And it does. Like, so when it gets dark at night and stuff, you can hear them going off in the distance. And so it just continues to like layer on top of.
I'm ready. I need to watch a comedy.
Yeah, it kind of turns into like as the mystery unfolds, it kind of turns into this bit of like cat and mouse game between him and some folks in the movie, and then it gets kind of supernatural.
Kind of.
That's a really, really cool part of the movie, the way they do that and what you see, because it turns into those, the lights go out, he's got a flashlight, and like those types of scenes that was just really, really effective.
You
and
know
really
it. I screamed so loud at one point and just would not look at the TV at all. And you were laughing so hard, and then you were like, "It's okay, you can look. It's okay." And I was like, "Are you sure?"
There's a lot. There's more than a couple of times that you were pulling like a blanket up over your, like, I can't look.
Oh no! Most of the time when he was walking around with a flashlight, and that one scene, that I just kept going, "What's happening? What can I look?" Mm-mm. And then this is one where now you've had to walk in every room with me. If I need to go to another room, I'm not going anywhere by myself tonight.
Yeah. Well, this one's different because I don't think it's like these big, and that's why I say it's kind of this slow, like dread. Even though you got scared, there's not these like big jump scares where it's like a loud score or anything like that. It's really the way they use the camera and the visuals.
The one I screamed at was loud.
Oh, was there? I see. I don't remember any.
Or was it just me?
Was
it just my scream?
It might have just been your scream. Because there's moments where things happen, and I remember thinking that where normally they would have like the score would ramp up and it would, things would get more alive, but it just keeps this kind of like slow, eerie pace. So okay, I feel like we need to get into the spoiler section here. So before that, let's get into our ratings. What would you rate this one?
It's shockingly, I think it's actually worth like matinee, because it scared the heck out of me. Like I am utterly scared. Like the door's open and I can see into the other room, and I'm just, something's gonna peek around at me right now. I'm freaked out. So it's effective.
Yeah, I'd give it a matinee as well. I think this is a good one. Like and it's weird because it kind of flies under the radar of like slow, because it kind of is a slow burn.
It's scary the whole time it's slow.
Maybe that's why it kind of, because normally that's not our thing at all.
Yeah.
But this one's just, it's really good. It's effective. Like all the acting is really great. I think he has a visual style, I think that just really works for this type of movie. And it just, the way it just kind of like builds up, and especially the finale, like when it kind of, like I said, goes more supernatural. That's just really good.
Where my scream kicked in.
Yeah.
And then I was like, covers, something protect me.
Yeah. So ready to get into some spoilers?
Yeah, I want to. Yep. I need a good little heartfelt, funny little movie. I need to go watch it now.
Okay. If you want to go into caveat fresh, pause here, come back once you've seen the movie for our spoiler section, or check out one of our other videos. Okay, so the mystery part of it,
like who's actually doing the supernatural spooky stuff?
Yeah, so the guy, the main character that's there, that's helping his friend to watch the niece, has actually been there before. And he had an accident, and so he didn't remember a lot of things. And come to find out, he had hired the uncle.
The uncle hired this friend a year ago to come and lock his brother in the basement because he's super claustrophobic.
And he knew that if he did that, he would freak out and like kill himself, basically.
Right.
Yeah. And that's what happened. He got locked into the basement and he killed himself. But when they do the flashback and they show the main character coming in there, he actually wasn't going to kill or lock him in there. The
guy's brother.
He couldn't find him. And so he goes to the basement and it's already locked. And he goes down there and he's still alive, but he's got like an arrow like kind of up in his face, but he's kind of like still alive and kind of freaking out. So he just leaves, locks and calls the uncle.
Yeah, because he like had left a note saying he didn't think that he was there, and he left a note basically saying your brother wants you dead.
Yep.
Because he was going there to warn him, hey, not to actually kill him.
Yeah.
So he calls the uncle guy, the brother, and was like, Did you already lock the door? You hired me to lock the door, and it was locked when I got there.
So then there's this like, okay, how did the door get locked? So come to find out, the uncle and the brother that killed himself killed the mom, and she is in the basement, walled up, kind of behind this like drywall or wood, and she's the supernatural element. She's coming back, and I think leading this guy through and trying to kind of help him figure out what's going on.
Right. Because I think she knows he's not a bad guy.
And she is super creepy.
Her eyes are open and she's smiling.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's just like her mouth is like pulled back, I guess, because she's dead. And like her teeth are just like showing. And so he's kind of gets behind the wall with her and is trying to get out. And he keeps turning back and looking, and like she's like her face is moving. Or has moved. So he takes this like beanie off and puts it over her, so like he can't see her face, but then he looks back and like the beanie's open and just an eye is out.
Well, that, and then he escapes, and the uncle has come there, back there, because he's like, okay, I gotta kill this guy, because again, the accident that friend had was the uncle pushed him off the balcony.
Because he was afraid he was going to
tell people that, hey, he's the one that wanted to kill his brother. He escapes the house through like, shimmying like behind the walls and like this secret little thing. And there's like a speaker throughout the house. And the uncle's down there, and there's a saw, like a little handsaw that the guy had been using, and is cutting to try to come out of the wall that he was hiding in with the dead mom. And then all of a sudden the guy comes over the loudspeaker and is like, hey, I got out, I'm calling the police, or I'll get you help. But the saw is still going, because it's the mom that's dead is just sawing her way out of the...
And it's and you barely see anything, especially at the very end, because all the lights off. He's got a flashlight, and so he knows something's going on, and he backs up and holds it, and you just slowly see like part of her face come around the corner, and then it just cuts.
But she had also popped up earlier, like, hey, to the guy, like, come down this way. Doors are opening and closing on their own, and you don't know why. When the friend was chained up originally, the chain is picked up. You could see it. But then when he turns around, the chain's just on the floor.
So she's been doing stuff the whole time.
Yes. He's still going through it, because poor thing doesn't know how to swim. So he can't swim off the island, and there's no boat because that uncle guy
left
and took the boat. So he's trapped on this island, and it's super cold outside. The daughter is trying to kill him with the
crossbow.
Yeah, with the crossbow, which I don't know why. The only thing I think of is the uncle told her that this guy did kill her father. That he locked him in the basement, which isn't true.
No, I think it was the mom. The dead mom did it.
I think it was the dead mom too, because, well, there was nobody there with him.
Yeah.
Ugh. And there's a creepy picture, of course, because these old houses like that always have these scariest portraits.
Oh, of course.
And it's like this girl holding the rabbit, and like her eyes, are just normal. The picture falls. He like doesn't like the picture and turns it around. It keeps falling, but turning around and facing him. And then the eyes are huge on the picture.
So yeah, overall, it's really good. I definitely recommend it for horror fans.
Oh, it's just so eerie. Like, I have a bit of a headache because I was so tense.
Yeah, and it looks like Hokum's going to be very similar.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
So I'm excited.
So what did you think of Caveat? Did you find it extremely creepy like we did? Or did you think it was a little too slow? Let us know in the comments.
Thanks for joining us today. And remember, around here, the fear is family.
Thanks for watching this episode. If you enjoyed it, hit like and subscribe. And tune in next time to The Fear Review, where the fear is family.